Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back or welcome to the channel as usual. Throne has dropped an insane update yesterday, and for those of you that have been keeping track of my channel, we knew that there was a new combat coming out, Hyper Boost server for people that want to catch up to the end game to try out the new stuff, and most importantly, the new combat. As you can see, obviously from first sight as well, there is the housing, quote unquote. I wouldn't really call it much of housing. It's more like you just have your house, which you can chill in, a few things here and there. And on top of that, you have something called the expedition, which basically you send out your army toys to do your gathering for you. That aside though, they added also fishing, which I tried out a little bit, played around with it here and there. I feel like fishing honestly needs a little bit of improvement, but at least it does yield pretty good results. Outside of that, they also added cooking, which I haven't tried as of yet because I needed a lot of mats, which I still haven't looked into where to get because everything was hectic yesterday on the Hyperboost server. Due to the fact some servers were a little bit of a pain, some quests I mean were a little bit of a pain in the main story, and I hope they fixed them already. But outside of that, the new combat has been one hell of a time. I've experimented on a lot of different weapons. I've been playing dagger staff myself to try it out on the Hyperboost server. I still have my crossbow dagger on my main server, and I'm gonna be honest here, this is a life-changing update in terms of combat. I know that for the open beta, the reviews were mixed about the combat. A lot of people said it's bad, some people said they fell asleep playing because of the combat, and some people just enjoyed it, they didn't care. I personally was one of the people that didn't mind the combat at all. I found it like pretty simple, straightforward, and satisfying enough to play, and not too much clutter. I have to admit the new combat though feels a lot better as someone who played a lot of BDO and enjoys the action combat aesthetics. Even though this is still a tap target game, is a much welcome change because not only did it open up a lot of variety options because now everybody is testing out new builds, everybody's testing out new possible builds that have never been possible before, and nobody yet knows what is actually good or what is bad. So it's a fun time. Everybody's trying out these new stuff, everybody's testing out, and you can have so many different options even with the same two weapons, which is really good. If you want to check these things out, of course, I have them all on my channel, whether you want to check my VODs on Twitch or come even watch us and hang out with us on Twitch. I'll be streaming today by the time you're watching this video, or even a little bit after. However, keep in mind that with the new changes, you have the skill specialization now. You have all these new things over here, which basically allow you to play around with all the skills that you own. And keep in mind, you have 100 points at level 50 that you can reset anytime for free and play around with your skills and change them as you see fit. The skill system as a whole got an overwork, so basically all the skills start at green, nothing as blue, purple anymore. Everything starts at green, and then you level them up. You have already the stat effects, like for example, Shadow Strike. In the past, green didn't have a bind on it or silence on it. Now you have everything on it as green, and as you level it up, you get like the cooldown or effect rate, for example. Damage skills, you just level them up and you get damage on them only. The main effect is in place. So they changed also like the system to some degree even before unlocking this skill specialization, because this unlocks at level 25. So even before level 25, you have access to a few new skills, and all the skills start at green, and you level all the skills up to purple. And I know that at first sight that might sound a little too obnoxious, but honestly, that was a very welcome change because it felt like now you have access to your whole utility early on. Especially if you're playing dagger, for example, you have Shadow Strike, you used to wait until blue to be able to even get the bind off of it, and then purple to get the silence on top of it. Now you just get that flat out in green, which I think is a pretty good change. Outside of the skill specializations, however, there is also these nodes here in the skill specialization, which you can play around with. And not only can you change like your whole playstyle completely, like for example, you wouldn't even recognize some of these skills. And I know you wouldn't recognize them because you don't even know what the skill is, for example. Funnily enough, this skill, by the way, is Inject Venom, for those of you that have been playing Throne or try Throne. So simply by adding one node, it can completely become a different skill, which is really cool. This has completely and utterly changed how the game plays now. Everybody is now testing things out, and I think you guys should jump in Korea if you wish as well. There are Hyperboost servers right now. They made it really easy to access the Korean server as well. You simply need to create an account from supported region. There is a link for supported region. I might try to find it and put it in the link in the description or in the comments. However, if I don't find it, still do your research. You can make an account, play. You'll simply need a VPN just to be able to play without issues like exit lag or such. and simply hop on and try out these new things for yourself. Now, something to note, not only did they change all these things that also played a huge role in the meta and the fun of the combat, which I think a lot of people are going to now enjoy a lot, they also added some new things called resonance, and that is in regards to the traits. Resonance is a bar that you'll see here when you have purple gear, and it's basically like once you fill up all 3 traits and max them out, you'll have access to something new called resonance. The resonance, basically think of it as an additional effect on top of your gear, which will allow you to unlock even extra power. That is not to mention the rune system, which I haven't really played much around with, which basically you get runes and then you use these runes on your gear. Some for build, some for necklace, some for weapons, and then you get extra effects. For example, this one is sleep resistance. So once again, another layer of options to build your own playstyle as you see fit, which would allow a lot more variety long run as well. Next month, we're getting the new content, the land ray. We're getting artifacts, which is also another new system that will also enable players to get creative. And I love the direction Throne is going. I think this is going to attract a lot more players into the game because of the combat specifically. And I think overall, we can safely say Throne is now officially out. Like, yeah, I know the game has been out in Korea for 7 months now, but it felt like it has been testing, to be fully honest with you. A lot of the systems, like if we look at the game 7 months ago, we look at the game now, it's a different game. It's a completely different game. I'm not even talking about this month only because of the combat or the runes or whatever. I'm talking also about the 7 months that we got insane amounts of quality of life changes and some even system changes overall. It feels like a different game completely. So I can say that safely Throne of Liberty 1.0 is finally out, or if you wish 3.0 if you account for the very first beta with the static combat, and then the release with a mobile combat, and then now this. I feel like it's safe to say that Throne is now ready. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, guys, and like the video, as it does help me out tremendously, and turn on the bell as well to be updated with the future content, and I'll be seeing you all on Twitch. Till the next one, peace.